starting to... Ooh. Dope. Ooh. Chris, you were first, but you said second, so that doesn't count as a first.
No, he was second.
Was he?
Bombastic Tyrant was first.
I didn't see anybody. See, I don't like this.
Yeah, he's right there.
Look at this. Look at this.
You're looking at the live chat or the...
Yeah, live
no,
chat.
he's right there. See?
Yeah,
It's all...
Chris McDougal.
Oh, so... Yeah, but you can still see the shadow of the first one.
So stupid, this app.
See the shadow of the first.
Woo, boy. Woo, boy. What do you hear? What do you say? I hear the fart of humanity today.
Humanity's pretty stinky.
Yep. But that's okay. I caused the fart of humanity last week. So I have to listen to a little bit of the fart of humanity today. Hear it?
Oh yeah, we gotta fucking figure out the HBO Max thing so we can do Monkey versus Lizard.
Oh yeah. True.
We might have to end up watching it on your computer, depending on if Roku has the app or not.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Hey all, happy International Transgender Day of Visibility. That's right. I saw that on Twitter today. It's International Trans Visibility Day. Yeah, no spoilers or you get clipped. I don't care if you're one of the lucky overseas people that already knows what happened between Lizard and Monkey. I'm now finally visible, been invisible all this time. Well, you should be glad for that. Today is the day to celebrate.
He probably farted today, since he poop trapped Cricket.
Yeah. I don't know if it wasn't a very farty poop. It was just a very straightforward poop. But Cricket, I try to warn him. He goes in the little side bathroom here because it's a close way for him to try and sneak out here. And I try to get him to go through the bathroom into the house. And he was like, "Meow." So I was like, all right, dude, you're poop trapped. Close, sit down. About 15 seconds into the poop, he was clawing at the door, and I was like, nope, you're in it to win it, Cricket. I gave you your chance. Now you're poop trapped.
He's fart trapped us plenty of time.
Dude, fart assaulted. Just comes and lays a little fucking silent stink bomb. That's what he gets.
Oh, another early birthday? Look at you.
Early birthday, folk. Thank you. It's good, Paul. Happy early birthday from Random Dude in Ohio. Thank you. Thank you, Random Dude in Ohio. Ten kills on the board right now. Well, what do you think about the new Lil Nas X song? It slaps. It slaps, and then it slaps gay devil booty. So it slaps two different ways. No, it's good. Like, Lil Nas X has really, really surprised me with his latest song, because he was like a meme a year ago. You know what I mean? He was like a meme rapper. And now he's that song and video were just full blown legit.
Yeah, his new shoes are sold the fuck out.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was selling Satan shoes. I would have tried to get a pair, but
Yeah, you only saw the outrage in the aftermath.
yeah, I just saw the aftermath of the Satan shoe.
Fucking stupid Nike trying to sue him.
Whatever. Let him sue. No, I mean, he's like anybody that is the focus of a bunch of like pointless outrage and has a comedic brain is going to have a lot of fun with it. And Lil Nas X is having a lot of fun with it. Like, people are just all fucking up in arms. He's selling Satan shoes made of human blood. Hey, dude. Apparently there's a market. He sold, he made 1,000 pairs of them.
No, 666.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He made 666 pairs of them, and they sold out in a minute. $1,000 a pair. And they're just like redesigned Nikes, you know? They're just Nikes that somebody has put some Satan shit on, injected a little human blood into or whatever, and out it goes. Wish I would have gotten a pair of those.
I don't know if there's any way to verify that, though. Because they're like, oh, it's a drop of blood in the soul. But, like...
There's not. There's probably not actually any fucking blood in them, I would imagine.
Yeah, supposedly it was, like, donated blood from the company making them, but who fucking knows?
Yep. Who knows? Yeah, no, Lil Nas is a marketing genius. Or the people that are behind his PR or whatever are marketing genii. You know what I really hate about it is that me and Marshall are about to steal his thunder, though. You know what I mean? Like, pretty soon, me and Marshall are about to stop that meteoric rise of Lil Nas X and supplant him. How do you know he's a likable guy? Have you chilled with him? You did a video for it? Holy fuck, Marshall. There's a video? Who knew? Who knew? I thought we were just dropping the beats. To pimp a monk. Motion graphic video, nothing too nuts. Yeah, but still, it's dope. That's dope, Marshall. That should be your... Who the fuck is Mario Judah? That should be... That's dope, Marshall. Oh, doggy. Satan is big business these days. Once Walmart jumps in, it's the end of the red chap. What? Walmart has been on Satan's side from the very beginning. Every day is a pizza day in America. That's true. That is true. Yeah, every Walmart has a portal to hell. This is well known. You ask a Walmart associate, like, hey, I'm looking for this thing. Let me go look in the back. And the back is like, arms reaching out of it and shit. I'm worried. My family won't let me get the COVID vaccine. Call the cops.
Just walk in to
yeah.
the pharmacy and do it.
Yep. I'm dead ass serious. Like, if you're underage and living with your family and they won't let you get vaccinated, call the police. I don't know if they'll do anything for you, but just tell them that your parents are endangering you. See if they let you get vaccinated. Seeing middle-aged, older people working at Walmart is so sad. Not just Walmart, bro. Seeing any person have to work full-time at fucking Walmart to pay their bills is sad. Planning on getting it behind their back. Okay, we'll get it. Do it. I work with a guy who's 66, works at Papa John's because he lost his job that he did for 20 years at a box manufacturing company. Yep.
There's hella people that can't retire nowadays.
Retirement is almost a fucking joke nowadays.
Like, there were tons of fucking dudes in their 60s and ladies in their 60s, and I worked at Amazon.
My parents' generation was probably the last generation that got anything close to a retirement. My generation, which comes after theirs, people my age most likely will not retire or will not be able to retire in the same manner that my parents retired.
You gotta have a government job.
Yep.
Like long term, like 20 years or something.
Yep.
You know, a ton of people fucking drain their 401ks and shit for the pandemic.
Yes, they did. A ton of people don't even get 401ks, period. A ton of people can't even afford to have a 401k. Watched Godzilla vs. Kong this morning. Was a pretty dope movie. Keep it on the DL. I don't want no spoilers.
Yeah.
I'm watching that goddamn motherfucking movie. Probably gonna see it tonight after work.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do
Might even get a free trial of HBO Max, maybe.
probably not. But I'm gonna do my flash fried situation. Flash fried streams, and then I'm going to go watch Godzilla vs. Kong. Might order a pizza, have some popcorn. Depends on how it's feeling. Huh?
We're supposed to have pizza tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Birthday pizza.
Birthday pizza. We'll just do popcorn then. We'll just have a popcorn fiesta. My dad worked with an old man who worked in the oil field his entire life and was a month away from retiring when they laid him off and denied his retirement. That's one of the things that unions were created to enforce, because that's a very common thing. Like, for companies to look down the barrel of actually having to pay into your life for the rest of your life, and they just go like, nah, you're fired. I just had my birthday yesterday, Paul. I had some tasty lasagna and cake. Lasagna and cake, huh? Cool. Cool. My mom's a union worker, but it's staffed entirely by uncaring people who don't really fight for their workers. That's the last vestige of unions in the States. Useless, money-grubbing, nothing orgs. That's why there has to be a new organization. That's why I don't advocate for reforming the AFL-CIO or the Teamsters or whatever the fuck and using them as a basis. That's why I say that there needs to be a ground-up essential workers union that will accept anybody. Hey, Paul, could you guys make a DFF mug? It's got into TNC. Me and the Holmes are camping on the river, and I'm tending the fire right now. Life is good. Thank you for the words that changed me. You have to sacrifice. True dat. I'm glad you're having a good time. Just be careful doing what you're doing. But your happiness is the most important thing in your life. I already have a DFF mug. You do? I don't remember.
Get one of those bootleg pieces of shit.
I don't know. I think maybe we sold a mug with the fucking logo on it at the beginning of the show. Maybe.
Oh, like just the orange.
Yeah, like the old school orange logo. I might.
I guess it's not old school, but it's like the most basic logo.
Yeah.
I don't think it's on sale now though.
No, it's not. I don't know, man. I always felt like mugs. Oh yeah, the In Anarchy We Trust. Yeah, that's right. We sold the with that like comic book poster style thing made, and we sold that as mugs and shit. So that makes sense. Who designed the DFF logo? I honestly think we did. There's a website called, I think it's called 99 Designs, where you agree to pay a certain amount, and then artists will give you like templates. They'll like do like a quick mock-up of their idea, and you go through and you pick the one that you like, and then that artist gets paid the money that you put forward, and they create the finalized logo.
It's like crowdsourcing art or whatever.
Yep. I think that's how we also got our Pessimist Productions logo. Was a 99 Designs logo, and then we had somebody animate it for us. But yeah, we used 99 Designs for DP too. Like the DP logo was designed by 99 Designs when we did the DP redesign. I remember there was an OG DP logo, and then like at some point when I was living in Washington, we did a 99 Designs thing and got a new DP logo made. Are you talking about the Chauvin trial? I'm like I said, I'm sure we will cover some of it on Flash Friday. I have not covered it all that closely. I've read a couple of little blurbs about it, but I've not covered the Chauvin trial all that closely. I'm sure tonight or today we will cover it on Flash Friday, at least briefly. Yeah, I've heard that it's a pretty fucking crazy trial. And I've heard a couple of things about it, but It takes 15 seconds for my bands to take effect. Otello, what is up, man? You got that slow internet or what? No worries. No worries, Zach. I talked my girlfriend into watching your streams today. Oof. You might want to talk her out of it. Talk her right back out. No, I'm kidding. New blood is always welcome, although I can't promise that she's going to enjoy what she sees.
See what? Sorry.
Huh?
See what?
What she sees.
Oh.
Just what I do. I'm a little bit of a jagged pill to swallow. I kind of take. Sometimes these are funny, and sometimes they're just depressing as fuck, and sometimes they're very, very pessimistic, and sometimes we talk about things that are very, very real, like both individually and from a human perspective and from just a crisis and collapse perspective. Yeah. So the question is, can you swallow the Paul pill? She's really pro-union, so that helps. Well, that's good. The fart streams are the best ones. I do like talking about farts too. That's a thing. The sour note that makes life sweet. Dude, you ripped that off from me. You ripped the Samuel fart off from me because I requested it last night in TJ's Abandoned Hope stream because he did Abandoned Hope with Chelsea. And I told them, can they do a fart simultaneously and make a Samuel fart? So you stole that shit from me. Better give credit. Don't be a joke thief. What's funnier, fart jokes or nut shots? Fart jokes. Nut shots aren't really all that funny to me. But I've taken a good dozen nut smacks in my time. You need a whoopee cushion for the next time you and TJ are on the same stream. What about just like a fart soundboard, you know what I mean? Yeah, true that. Like, farts are relatable to folks that don't have balls, too. Like, nut shots are just... They never were all that funny to me. They hurt. I took a fake nut shot on stage once. That Anna in the Tropics show that I was in, where I played an attempted rapist and murderer. There's this creepy scene where I go after my niece, my teenaged niece, and I try and, rape her. Grab her by the shoulders, and we had a whole stage combat thing worked around where I just yanked her around and tried to push her to the ground, and she'd put her hands on my shoulders and give me a fake nut shot, and I would fall over, and she ran off, and I would scream her name, and then the lights would go down. That was a really cool scene. Yeah, that nut shot was not done for, like, laughs. It was done for, like, audience satisfaction. The rapist got hit in the nuts by the much smaller girl that he was trying to rape, and she got away. Yeah, a purposeful nut shot. I never had to do any super elaborate stage combat for a production. Most of what I learned in stage combat, stage combat encompasses a number of things. It's not just how to fight, how to fake a punch, how to take a punch. The main thing that you learn in stage combat is how to take a fall properly. because those are far more common in stage productions than really elaborate fight scenes. It's usually a very quick, brutal fight scene, and then somebody hits the deck. You know what I mean? And that is what you learn. A lot of what you learn is how to take a fall without hurting yourself. And that was the most important thing I picked up in stage combat. Like, that same show that I'm talking about, Anna in the Tropics, was... Oh, no. Just because I did them so close. I'm thinking of Handler with this one. There's a scene in Handler where it's hard to explain. Handler is a very, very strange show. It's about a snake handling Appalachian church. I played the pastor of the church, Brother Bob, who was the big snake handling preacher of the church. One of the people in the church, a guy named Jordy, gets bitten by a snake. He lives, but then he starts to turn into a snake. Like, he starts to get scaly skin and blah, 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 blah. That's part of the show. And so there's one part where I'm trying to keep him from leaving, and I grab his arm because he's trying to leave, and I grab his arm, you know, not in a violent way, just to try and say, Jordy, you know, stay. And he turns around and grabs me by my lapel, lifts me, or at least appears to lift me off the stage. That's part of stage combat as well. Just a tippy toes thing on my part. And then shoves me back, and I have to do a pretty hard hit and a roll to make it look like he threw me much harder than he did, to imply that he's got like extra strength that he shouldn't have. And in doing that, there's also a special effect that he applies. So I'm supposed to draw the audience's eye while he busts a blood pack and puts it all over his arms, because at that point, when he throws me like that, my hands are supposed to have sloughed off some of his snake skin. So it was a really complex, like, little dance that had to be done. The focal point had to be on me being lifted and then throwing and hitting the ground with a big crash and a roll and a big yelp from me, so that he had time to bust his blood pack and do this, you know, bust a blood pack in his pocket and go, so that when the audience's action comes back to him, it looks like his arm is all bloody, and he says, my skin is coming off of me. And then that's the end of that scene. There's a lot of complexity to stage combat, and a lot of there's a lot of times that it's used misdirectively like that. It's meant to create like a big crash, boom, pow on the stage, so that something else can happen on the stage outside of the purview and notice of the audience. Yeah. I had to bust a blood pack too during the fall, because the audience's attention is transferred from me to him, or from him to me to him. So it's like a ping pong match. He picks me up, the audience's attention is on both of us. He throws me, boom, right? And then he holds his arm out, and the audience looks at him and sees that his arm is bloody. While he's doing that, I bust a blood pack and rub it on my shirt. And a bunch of people are over there helping me, and I get up all winded and fucked up, and I say, am I bleeding? Am I bleeding? And then he says, no, it's my blood. My skin is coming off of me. How do you bust a blood pack? You just squeeze it, yeah. They're homemade. They're almost like a little, what you call it, like a Tide Pod. It's like a plastic sack that has got a little bit of blood in it, and it busts with very little. Sometimes you use capsules as well. Like, I think for one of the blood scenes in that show, I used a capsule because I didn't need tons of blood. I needed just a little bit of squirt of blood to put on my nose. And they'll put them in pill capsules where there's just liquid in the pill capsule. So when you squeeze it, it just shoots blood all over you, and you can wipe or do whatever you want. And then if you need a lot of blood, you know, about yay big, filled with really, really like thin but bright blood substitute, so that when you give it a good hearty squeeze, it just, and then you can do whatever you want with it real quick on the stage.
Yeah, and then if you just need blood already on you, there's like big bottles of the stuff that you can fling on shit. I did that once. I like volunteered at like this high school Halloween haunted house thing, and I got completely covered in all the fake blood.
Yeah. We call them blood packs throughout my whole theater days. A squib, to my understanding, is a blood pack that has a little charge in it that's meant to blow up. So like a squib is a blood pack that has like a little tiny charge on it meant to blow it up so it looks like you got shot. Yeah, that's a squib. We just called them blood packs or blood pills, depending on which ones we were using.
You didn't go crazy with the.
No, I never had a squib moment on stage. Although some high level like productions and stuff will have squibs and shit and shooting scenes. I did shoot a gun on stage in that Anna in the Tropics one with blanks, and that was really cool. Why did you stop acting? I never really did. I stopped doing stage work because my job precluded me being able to devote as much time as it took. I basically blew myself out. And, I was working a full-time job and then going directly from my work to rehearsal, staying there until late midnight, and then getting up and opening at my store at fucking 4 a.m, 4:15.
So you think you just stopped when you switched to the school district then?
The school district just absolutely, because I didn't have a flexible schedule anymore. I had a 9 to 5, and that jumped in the way of a lot of production schedule, rehearsals and performances. And see, by the time that I was really, like when I really jumped headfirst back into acting after high school, like stage acting, I was working at Starbucks, and I had been for a long time. So I drew a lot of water over there. When I told them like, hey, I want to change my schedule, I need these days off and shit, they weren't gonna fuck with me on it. So they were I was able to, because I'd been there for fucking years and years and years, I was able to move my schedule around, still work, still get my full-time hours, but also be able to fucking drive straight from work to the community college or the state college and do my rehearsals until midnight. I did 4 shows back to back and then just burnt. I just couldn't do it. I knew I wasn't going to be able to offer my work what I needed to keep my job. I knew I wasn't going to be able to offer 100% of myself, which is what I give on stage productions, and so I had to stop. And that was really the last opportunity that I had in my life to really pursue acting, like in a stage way. I was in my late 20s and early 30s. It's like 29, 30. It takes an enormous amount of time to be even a supporting cast member in a show. Most of my stage experience is not in being a leading man. It's being a strong supporting cast member. And so you have to, like, especially when you're talking about like community and even state level college, like those productions don't have the resources that a theater production that's in the city might have, that has a theater that's built for it. Those people have like costume designers that'll come in, and fucking makeup people that specifically do your makeup for you, and fucking people to run their script with you, and assistants and people to bring food, and like none of that shit exists at the community/state college level with theater. The actors do a lot of the actual work of creating the set. Like there's strike day, which is when you tear down the set. There's set building days, and the actors are, not, I like to say encouraged, but really if you don't show up to it, you're a dick. You know what I mean? You help build the set. You help fucking hang the lights.
You didn't get paid for it either, did you?
Fuck no. You're doing it for the love of the show. I never got a fucking dime for doing any stage work. Ever. It was all just for the love of creating it. don't guess I'm going to be able to do acting in any stage-based way now that I'm rubber tramping as someone interested in theater, though I wonder, would you tip a busker reciting monologues? Of course. It's something you don't see a whole lot, but, you know, like acting and busking, you know, I presume that acting was one of the first types of busking. Like, if you really traced the history of the street performer, I've got a feeling that the person pontificating pre-memorized speeches and lines and stuff like that must have been one of the very, very early ones.
What the fuck is this?
What?
Like, there's just, like, alt-raid. Oh, shit.
Alt-raid.
We're trying to ban too many people at once.
Dude, you overloaded the ban.
Yeah.
No, whatever. Raids are sometimes a good thing.
Yeah.
Mega chin? Cool. No, raids are sometimes a good thing. Can we get some DFF Satan shoes with all 3 of your blood in it? Dude, that would be dope. Let's just rip off Lil Nas X and make some Satan shoes of our own. We'll charge half price for them, too. Thoughts on Laurence Olivier? Just a really, really well-known American Standard actor. What is the trick to memorize a script? It's different for everybody. For me, I have to just sit with the script and read it over and over and over again. And then what I do is I'll start on page 1. I'll get all my lines highlighted. I will read the entire script front to back so I know where I fit in. And then delineate where my scenes are within the script. Flip towards those scenes. And read everything, including the stage directions, because you want to know where you're supposed to be cheating out, where you're supposed to be coming in. Are you coming in left, coming in right? Are you already on the stage when the lights come up? This is all part of your job to memorize as an actor, too. You're not, you know what I mean? So I would do it that way, read the whole fucking script, and then read all of my scenes, and then try and see if I could do my lines without reading them. So I learn line by line, basically. I will read the line that leads into mine, and then I'll close my eyes and try and remember what my line is, and I'll say what I think it is, and then I'll open my eyes and see how close I was, and then I'll work that until I've absolutely got it, and then I move on to the next set of lines. Here's my prompt line. Here's my line. Here's my prompt line. Here's my line. And pretty soon I've got a page of the script memorized. Go to my next scene. Same thing. It's a time-consuming process, but once it's done for me, it's done.
Did you read scripts? Like, did you have it during rehearsal, or were you supposed to just learn your lines first and then rehearse?
Every production that I've ever been on has what's called an off-book day. Mm-hmm. So everybody is in, like, when you first start doing your physical rehearsals, everybody's got script in hand. Yeah. You put it down when you can, but you keep it somewhere nearby, and you can walk over to it and consult it and do the scene. So, but there is what's called off-book day, which means that every principal actor with lines is off-book. You are expected to know your fucking lines. Now, if you don't, you do call-outs after off-book day. So you'll say line, but that is like a last resort thing. This is you're hammering the fucking dents out of the show. And that's usually like a week or two before opening night. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, you have dress rehearsals, which are basically you do the whole show as if there was an audience. And you usually
also off book.
Right, and that is 100% off book. You are, usually people that are involved with the production, like family members of the production, can come to those sometimes. Other times it's just the people that worked on the production that get to watch it. But those are off book. Those are those are meant more to debug the lighting. Yeah. And people that are moving the sets around and shit than anything else.
Practicing changing and shit.
By fucking dress rehearsal night, you as an actor, you're ready.
Yeah.
You're ready to fucking do the show. Because if you're not, you're fucked. A little improvisation is not okay unless the script calls for it. There are certain lines that like run into other lines. Like in a script, you might see, you just don't listen, ... And then the next line will be ... Fuck you, you, blah, blah, blah. So a little bit of improvisation to justify that ellipsis makes the scene seem more organic and less scripty. And so, but that's always worked. You work that with the director watching during on-script, off-book days. So it is, you learn it. So it's not really improvisation. It's adding in, like, improvisation is only useful if you flub a fucking line and you can't do it. You can improvise a line that keeps the scene moving in the right direction and lets your other actors know that you're off fucking script. It's only happened to me once or twice in my life. But it happens to every actor. You just go fuck them, you draw a blank and you're like, fuck. You don't have a lot of time to do it, so you improvise a fucking line that lets your other actors know, like, hey, I'm off book, put me back on book. And they will figure out a line that puts you back on book. Do you, Lawrence Olivier was British, extremely British. Got it. Do you think theater is dying as an art? Probably, yeah. To be honest with you, especially like in COVID days and shit, like theater has not been a super popular mode of entertainment for a long time now. And I'm not going to admit now. I'm not going to have a problem admitting that it's dying as an art. Yeah, I don't think that it will completely and utterly die. It already kind of is a niche luxury thing. Back when I lived in Central California, I had a very expensive season pass to the what they call Broadway in Fresno at the William Saroyan Theater, which is like these super high production value Broadway plays, do these traveling shows all over the fucking country. And it was fucking expensive as shit. It was like $750 per person for the seats for the season.
Not the whole year, just the season.
Right. Just the season. That's not a year's worth of content. That's 3 shows, basically. So it's already a luxury fucking thing to see theater at that level for people. Now, one of the things that, like, people don't take advantage of that's really cool are these things like Shakespeare in the Park. Like, a lot of people will do theater productions in public areas, and, you can go see some good theater there. Theater doesn't have to be high production value. It doesn't have to have all this shit. I've seen very stripped down versions of very, very, like, ooh, nice toot. I usually don't get a toot. It's expensive as fuck in New York too. I remember my dad and I, when we went to back east on a business trip, ended up in New York City. He told me, like, yeah, we'll go see, because I wanted to see Phantom of the Opera. This time I was in theater. I was about 14 years old when I took this trip, so I had already started theater. I was already in love with it in high school, and so I wanted to go see Phantom of the Opera because that was the big show that was out at that time on Broadway. That was the big Broadway show. And my dad just assumed, like, oh, we'll be able to get tickets for it. It's like, no. That show was fucking sold out for months. Like, we would have had to pre-buy those tickets like 3 months ahead of time and fly to New York, basically with that as a main impetus to get to see that show. So it's been that way for a long fucking time at the upper end of it. And some of the fucking seats at these, like, top level Broadway shows are insanely expensive. I just told you that I paid $750 something like a seat for season tickets to a traveling Broadway show that give you 3 shows a season or whatever the fuck. Some of the tickets within those fucking big giant Broadway shows are $750 a seat for that show. Why is it so much? Because the people that fucking make these giant over the top productions have to make the money back, and they have higher overheads than all of these other types of acting that I'm talking about. Community level theater, college level theater.
Like those actors actually get paid.
Right. These actors have to be paid, and everybody that works on the fucking project has to be paid, from the people that build the sets to the people that design the lighting to the people that do the audio. All of those people are students. You know what I mean? When you're talking college level theater, all of those people are students and happy to be getting the experience, so they don't get paid. But you go to that level of theater, every single person, from the fucking janitor to the fucking caterer to the fucking extras to the fucking guy that fucking puts together all the scripts to the director to the fucking set designer, lighting designer, to the fucking people that help with costuming, to the people that help with makeup. Every one of those people is getting paid.
Like, it's probably at least 100 people involved in the production.
Oh my God, way more than that if you're talking a huge Broadway production like Spider-Man Turn Out the Night or whatever, or Turn Off the Dark, whatever that was. That probably employed 350 people. Especially when you take into account the venue people who have to be paid as well. So you got the people that are ushering, you got the people that are serving at the snack bar, you got the security people, you got the fucking people that are helping people to their seat, all that shit. People cleaning up messes. All those people are paid by the production. And the production has to pay the venue in New York as well. Those venues don't let fucking shows come for free. Those venues exist, the big fucking high-tech, multiple thousands of seats type of fucking Broadway venues. They get a chunk of the pie. So, like, that's why it's so fucking expensive. It's like a movie that has to be crowdfunded.
That's a huge upfront investment because they don't have guaranteed ticket sales sometimes.
Right. When you go to like a college level production, you pay $15 for your seat, and that money goes right in the coffer for the next show. Your budget from the next show is based on the budgets from the previous shows. That's how college, like, you don't even get much from the colleges to justify your theater department. Your theater department gets a little infusion of money if it's the first year that you've had one, but then after that, it's expected to kind of self-finance when it comes to the shows. And so it's a business, just like anything else. It's just very different. Very different at different levels. I've never worked on a professional production of that caliber. Like the upper crusty, everybody's getting paid, fucking big time stage shit. And I don't really know that I would want to, honestly. It was never really a big... I love doing community theater because there's so much freedom in the different subjects that you're allowed to fucking work with in a college theater. Like, I did so many weird shows at the college level that would never have flown on a big venue, with really interesting and edgy and laden with social commentary types of shows that just, they're not these big kind of boisterous, I am a Mormon, it's not that, not to shit on that, but it's, these are shows that are meant to make people think and that deal with darker themes and blah, 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 blah. And that's, I really liked that.
They're probably more limited to musicals with the bigger productions.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the big, not all, but most of the big Broadway shows are musicals. It really is like a movie that needs to be crowdfunded. I mean, it works out that way. And that's why it's so expensive, because people have come to expect a quality of production that includes fucking sometimes like movie level special effects and shit. Like, for the opening of Phantom of the Opera, they built a working river in the theater in New York that opened in. I'll say that again. They built a working river on stage that could be covered and hidden during blackouts. A river that wasn't just water sitting there, it flowed. So that the fucking Phantom could row his boat down it. We're talking like, you know what I mean? This is like movie level shit. But you're sitting in front of it watching it. You can feel the energy of that live performance. There's nothing like it.
Yeah, and then there's insurance too for shit like that.
Yeah, insurance to protect the people that are coming to the show, insurance against injury for all your fucking actors and shit, insurance against injury for all your fucking support staff. And that's an old show. That show was huge in 1994. Had a working fucking river, not just a little sliver of water, like a totally fucking probably like 20 feet wide river cutting down the center of the show that during blackouts could almost immediately be covered and turned into another scene. It was fucking stunning. I never got to see the New York production of it, but I saw the San Francisco traveling production of it. They did the same thing there. And it was fucking mind-blowing to see that on stage. Ever saw a dud of a play? Yep. You remember I told you I bought season tickets for a few seasons to the Soroyan Theater in Fresno for Broadway. And there was a production of... I actually it's the only theater production that I've ever just walked out of. There was a production of Oliver Twist. I believe it was Oliver Twist. I'm 99% sure it was Oliver Twist. We got there and we got seated. And I looked on stage and actors in costume were just milling around on stage. Like as people were getting seated. And as a theater dude, I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like literal actors in full costume just kind of like hanging out on stage and talking and and it wasn't meant to be like part of the show. They were just fucking around on their phones and like the show started. I watched the first scene and it was so listless. Like I told my wife at the time, I said, I want to leave. And she's like, me too. She's like, this is just so fucking shit. I was just like, I just feel like it's like an insult to the fucking medium. I don't want to sit through this garbage. And so we just left. Watched like one or two scenes and we just fucking got up and just left. It's the only show that I've ever felt that way about. I felt like nobody gave a fuck on that show. And it showed. Should have booed them? No. I just left. Thrown some tomatoes and got 10 points on the board. Yeah. being part of a show is a lot of fun. I'll cap off at least this part of the talk with this. Being part of a show, seeing it go from script workshop to final production is really fun, and it instills a great sense of camaraderie amongst the people that are working on the show, because you are all working in your own way to birth this thing into existence. And being successful in that and hearing the applause of the audience at the end of it is electrifying and fantastic, and it feels great to have affected an audience so directly and have that immediate feedback from the audience. I mean, it's one of the things that I miss the most about performing. I'll be quite honest with you, and why I'm such a fucking theater nerd over being like, I never had dreams to be like a movie actor or whatever. I'm not saying I would have turned it down or whatever if somebody had approached me about it, but I never wanted that. I always loved the stage, because the stage, there is such an energy. If you've never been on stage, you've never performed on stage, and you've never watched a really well done theater production, you don't understand what I'm saying. But if you have, you do. There's an energy that flows back and forth from the audience to the people on the stage, and you can feel it. It's like palpable in your veins as you're up there performing. So if you're in a comedy show and you deliver a line in such a way that it gets a big raucous laugh, you can't react to that on stage. You can't be like, you know what I mean? But it just fills you with this like, I gave them something, they gave it back. I gave them something, they gave it back. And it just drives the whole energy of the performance. It's so fucking fantastic. There's nothing like it. I have a feeling that musicians can relate, absolutely. Like, can you imagine what it must feel like as a popular musician to do that shit where you're singing your song or whatever, and then you just cut it out and the whole audience is singing it? You know what I mean? The audience never misses a beat and they just keep it going, and then you cut the beat back in and you get back on it or whatever the fuck. Like, that's what I'm talking about. That flow in a live performance, it's irreplaceable. You don't get that on the internet. You can't feel that same thing with people spamming Rafflemow emojis and LOLs and fucking claps and whatever, sending super chats and shit. It doesn't feel the same. That energy is going one way. I like that story you tell about when you pulled out the gun and you could hear the audience gasp. Yeah. Moments like that in theater are what I live for. Just absolutely what I lived for. Oh man, 10 kills on the board right now, and I just wiped out Tomato Town. You know what I mean? Can you please do us all a favor and take a shower? Dude, I guarantee I shower more than you do. Fucking guaranteed. Like, that's one thing that's like a little piece of Paul lore. You can ask TJ about it. Like, I'm fastidiously clean. I don't stink. I smell good 24/7, 365. And if I don't, my ass is in the fucking shower. Trust me. I smell good. That's what you hate, yo. I smell good. I smell good. How often do you wash your hair with shampoo and conditioner with that long hair? Is it hard to manage? I wash my hair probably like once a week. I smell good. No, I wash my hair about once a week. You cannot have long hair like this and wash it every fucking day. It just strips all of the fucking natural shit out of your hair, and it makes your hair just like crappy and dry. So like once a week I do shampoo, conditioner, and all that shit. And then the rest of the week when I shower, I just put my hair up and keep it out of the water. You know what I mean? You don't smell good. You smell like a retirement home, dude. You don't know, dude. I smell good. You're salty as fuck, Bob Rob, because your ass is sitting there stinking, and I'm over here smelling like fresh fucking linens. And hold up. Let me take a whiff of this right here. Flowers in the forest. Oh, you want me to do the ultimate sniff, bro? You want me to do the ultimate sniff? Ooh, cedar. Cedar wood chips. You're Joe Bidening that hair. You can Joe Biden yourself. This is not creepy to do. If you want to smell your own hair, you can do it. Like, you know, nobody's being victimized but me here. And if it's me doing it to myself. Oh, it smells so good. Do you believe in aromatherapy? I actually practice it a little bit. I burn like a lot of incense. Like I don't know if I buy into the whole like, but it really does help to fucking put a calm note on me. So I like having like good smells around. That's one of the reasons I keep myself so clean. Good smells surrounding me keep me in a good mind frame. Like I burn incense pretty often. I need to order some essential oils. I ordered a piece of jewelry a while back that I want to start wearing around my neck. It's for aromatherapy, but I haven't gotten around to ordering any essential oils for it yet. But I got a cool piece of jewelry. Doesn't change the fact that you look like a homeless, smooth McGroove. Bruh, these memes, you're reaching pretty hard there, Bob Rob. Why don't you just type in the chat? Why don't you just type in the chat, I stink? Just come out with it, bro. I stink. Just put it in the chat, and dude, I swear to God, it'll feel like a fucking ton has been lifted off of your shoulders. Make your next thing, I stink. Make your next thing, I stink. See, look, some people are saying it. Some people are fucking have the balls to admit it. Do you? I stink. Just say it. Free yourself. I stink. Just type it. Knob slob, dude. Man, I'm not judging. Whatever pays the rent for your apartment. I smell like patchouli, incense, and campfires. Yeah, dude. The campfire smell is real good too. Like when I get a fire going in my little fire pit back here, and I spend a lot of time like warming myself up against it. You go inside, you got that kind of like smoky campfire smell. That's good shit. Very elemental. It's my birthday. Happy birthday. Well, thanks, shitty economist. You were almost born on the perfect day. Thanks for giving me the attention I wanted and responding to every single one of my messages. You're welcome, Bob Rob. See, look at that. Look how beautiful it was. A troll needed some food, and it's like, I fed him. And he was genuinely, you could tell, he genuinely needed it. Paul, how do you get your hair to be so obedient to gravity? My hair always gets super poofy. So that may have to deal with like what kind of hair you have. My hair is insanely thick. Here's what happens when I go to get a haircut every time I've ever gotten a haircut. Typically, the person that fucking is giving my haircut will go like, you got a lot, anybody ever tell you got thick hair? Or, oh my God, you got thick hair, huh? My hair is like ridiculous. It's ridiculously heavy and thick, so it hangs like gravity pulls down on that shit. It's fat. If you have like very thin, like some people have very thin hair, and that it tends to fucking want to go everywhere. But if you look real close, I've got flyaways and shit going on. Like I got some disobedient hairs here and there. But there's enough weight to the fucking whole bunch of it that it just hangs. Plus, it's pretty extra long too. I mean, it's not like soup. But when I take a shower, the shit is like past the middle of my back. So it's hard to tell when it's just chilling like this because I've got this wavy hair that curls up. But when my hair is wet and slicked all the way out to its maximum length, it's pretty fucking super long right now. I want to grow a wizard's beard. Do it. Looks like the hair from Teen Wolf. I keep my hair voluminous by only washing occasionally and bringing it all to the front. Yeah. I don't know what bringing it all to the front means, but I learned pretty early on that you can't, you're not supposed to wash all the time every day. It took me until I was in my 30s to actually grow a full beard, so hang in there. In my 20s, like this over here would come in, like my sideburns and shit, the chin, but this right here, like the mustache was wimpy and it wouldn't quite connect to the beard. And that, like for me to grow an actual full beard, it took like 32, I think I was, when I finally tried it, and I was like, damn. Or 30. Like the beard that I've got now is like it's like an 8-year beard. Give or take a year. So you just gotta just keep the faith. Just keep the faith. Had a full beard like by 17, dude. I knew dudes like you in high school. The envy of the school, man. Oh, thanks, Pranav. Wasn't TJ able to grow a beard in his early 20s? I don't know. You have to ask TJ when he was able to grow a beard. It's different for different dudes. Yeah, I know. Like I knew a dude, like actually the drummer for Apple Nasty was a guy that could grow a full fucking beard at like 15. It was insane. See, back in the day, a full beard wasn't like super popular, but he had that fucking full good ass goatee. The Van Dyke, where the mustache and the goatee and shit, he kept it like that with the sideburns. It's just like, damn. Oh yeah, that's right. Well, best of luck with that, Pranav. Your shit's patchy. I mean, you're still a youngster, Marshall. You gotta give it time. You gotta give it time. Or you might just be like genetics blocked. Like, I don't know. Do you have a significant amount of Native American or Asian? If you have a significant amount of Native American or Asian, you may just not, you know what I mean? It just doesn't happen sometimes. According to your family, yes, but you think it's bullshit? I see. It's like me having a full rack by 12. Dude, genetics are strange. What are you going to do? I think Amelia went through that.
Yep.
An early bloomer.
Yep. And they just didn't stop.
Yep, just kept on blooming. So many people claim Native American heritage completely falsely. Dude, I know. So many people where I'm from have Cherokee, and it's usually bullshit. Yeah, no, I told you guys this. There was like a fucking family story of mine that's been passed from generation to generation and shit. My mom told it to me, and I just assumed it was real, that the ancestor that I have on her side of the family that came to America from Ireland married a full-blooded Native American woman. And if that's true, I've been able to trace this dude. Well, not that dude. I've been able to, well, yeah, I was able to trace him.
Yeah.
And her. Mm-hmm. But so if that's true, he's like my great, 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 great grandfather. Right? If his progeny leading down that line were half Native American, quarter Native American, eighth Native American, that would make me something like 1/16 Native American or some shit. I don't know if that's how it works, but it would be right out there in my genetics. And I did a 23andMe, and I am absolutely 100% European. There's no hint of Native American blood in me. So that story that my family has told itself about fucking my ancestor that came over from Ireland, that part is true. But he didn't. If he did hook up with a full-blooded Native American, they didn't have any kids together. The kids that he had were with another European, because it's just impossible. My biological grandfather was Hispanic, but I'm all European otherwise. Most people have like a more interesting mix of heritages, to be honest with you. But I'm just from a lineage of European immigrants to America. Like, that's the story of how I got here. My family started in, well, I mean, if you trace it back to the furthest away, Scandinavia, traveled down into Europe proper, ended up settling for a very long time in London, and then ended up moving from London to Ireland for a very long time. Like, that's the track of my family history as far as it can be traced. And, you know, those people, my ancestors on both sides of my family immigrated to the United States at around the same generation and became Americans. And it was during a time where a lot of people from the same areas were doing the same. So it was, a lot of families just, I don't know. Honestly feel bad for people that came here as slaves in their ancestry and don't have any idea of their roots. I didn't understand Black History Month until someone explained this to me. Yeah, I mean, like, that's part of it for sure. It's like families were broken up, no records were kept of actual names of people in a lot of cases, and really genetic testing is the only way that some American blacks or just worldwide black people can find out anything about what part of Africa their ancestors lived in. But as far as like knowing what family name to look for, they just don't. They have an Americanized last name or a European last name, and that is not what their ancestors had. And so there's no way for them to connect with their cousins, their, you know what I mean? Their distant relations in these countries. There's no way to even tell who's who. That's pretty fucked up.
You want anything to eat, sweetie?
Yeah, I could munch on something.
You want a breakfast sandwich or a BLT?
A breakfast sandwich sounds really good.
Yeah.
If you're feeling up to it, yeah. I'm not turning it down. Paul, gimmick accounts get banned. Time for the TJ gimmick account purge. Oh yeah, just gimmick accounts in general. Like anybody impersonating anybody else, it's not funny, so they just get banned. That's just like low effort shit. Yeah, it's sad as fuck. I'm kind of ashamed of my direct lineage from the Civil War that fought for the South. I mean, like, there's no reason for you to be ashamed of your fucking lineage, bro. There's really no reason for you to be proud of it. You had no fucking say in it either. But there's no reason to be fucking ashamed. Like, I'm from what I can tell, my family participated very lightly in the wars of the United States. My family on both sides were pretty much like colonial peasants and shit. Like they just never, they stuck around long enough to people the earth with a few children, and then they died just working. So I come from a long line of workers and a shorter line of soldiers. My great-grandfather, grandfather, and father all served in the military. On my dad's side, anyway. On my mom's side, I have an uncle that served in Vietnam, a number of other soldiers. So, but most of the people on both sides of my family are blue-collar people. It's super interesting history. My family came to settle in the little town that I was born in, Madera, California, in a place called Little Okie, because that's what they were. They were Okies and Arkies, and at this time they were treated, I'm not going to say the same way as minorities were, but they were very much disdained in the area that they moved into. And an entire wing of town was created, basically, with low-income housing and seedy, fucking shitty places. And it still exists in that town. It's called Little Okie. And my family came from there. My family came from Little Okie. settled in Little Okie when they came to the area and came up through that. Okies and Arkies, people from Oklahoma and Arkansas, flooded into the fertile and verdant areas of California during the Dust Bowl and were looked well down upon. My ancestors were indentured servants, but my great X3 grandfather jumped ship and swam for Cape Breton Island, where most of us still live. Yeah. At least on my mom's side, I've been able to trace a direct immigrant. I don't know. Like the family story is my great grandfather was a stowaway from Ireland, but he also was supposedly married a full-blooded Indian. So, who knows? Who knows if he was a stowaway or just one of the many, like, marginally registered immigrants from that area of the world at that time. Yeah, on my mom's side of the family, Okie, Arkie. On my dad's side of the family, Missouri. Those are and Virginia. Those are the 4 states that I know I have direct lineage to on both sides of my family. A little bit of Texan. A sprinkle of Texan. Old DP days are over. These guys are owned by their stupid girlfriends. None of us have girlfriends. We all have wives. Low effort, dude. Very low effort. Very, very low effort. The old DP days are over. The new paradigm has arrived, and yea, does it suck, for these dorks are owned by their girlfriends. I love it. You're such a fucking hoe. I love it. You're such a fucking hoe. I love it. Your boyfriend is a dork, McLovin. Dude, weak sauce trolling is just like, I don't know what to tell you about it here, man. It's just like a fucking standard part of Highdeology at this point. Just full blown, like, weak ass trolling. The DP days are over. No, that's what the troll said. He said DP, not DFF. Ingrid Helgerson agreed. Maybe lame isn't the right word. I would be comfortable saying that in a general sense. White culture is vampiric. Vampiric? I don't know about that. Like, I'm all on board for celebrating cultures that are different from typical Western culture, but underselling it as a non-culture just feels like going a little bit too far. Like, it is what it is. Like every culture. Here in America, cultures have blended to the point where it's so much more complex a conversation than like white people don't really have a culture, but black people do. It's like, what? That doesn't make any sense. the truth of the matter is that black people and white people and Hispanic people and Asian people have a ton of different cultures within their subgroups. Ton. They share a lot of cultures too, especially in the Americas. Yeah. Like I said, there's been a lot of cross-pollination in culture, and I think that's a beautiful thing, by the way. See, we've talked about this shit before. And this is a bugaboo for me because I don't line up with what a lot of people think. I think culture begs to be shared. And I think that culture begs to be appreciated. Now, are there ways of taking a culture and caricaturizing it to the point of it being insulting? Yes. Dressing up in red face and going like, how white man, me am plains Indian, that type of shit. Pretty bad. Right? But culture, like taking something, dressing like somebody from a different culture, listening to the music of a different culture, and using it to influence your own creativity, or making it a part of your daily listening routine, or really adopting an attitude that you learned from a different culture. Like, what culture wants, it begs to be accepted, it begs to be looked at. That's what it's about. It's like the flavor of that group of human beings from that region. Why would you want that to be insular? Why would you want to put walls up around that? Why would you not want people to appreciate the beautiful, radiant glory of all the different human cultures that have existed? All the different styles of art, all the different styles of music and dress and religious observance. Why are these things walled off from appreciation and adoption? Why? I very rarely hear people from these cultures that are constantly being like appropriated according to a cultural narrative here in the United States saying like, boy, do I wish that white people or people that aren't fucking Hindu or aren't Desi would stop wearing fucking bindis. I don't hear it. I don't hear people existing in that culture looking at the expansion and appreciation of their culture and going like, no. Like, I watch a lot of travel vlogs, particularly people that travel to parts of the world that a lot of people don't travel to, and a lot of times it's based around food. So let's just look at the microcosm of food as culture. Food is probably the most important human culture that develops. There's nothing more important than sharing a fucking meal when it comes to human interaction. It's as old as the fucking human race and before. Okay? Sharing a meal has a special significance to us, and cultures develop different styles of cooking. And to be able to appreciate the vibrancy of that cooking, the vibrancy of that local fucking flavor, is something that people that live in these different cultures, America included, are so proud to share. So proud to share. You watch these fucking vlogs, these travel vlogs where people go and they eat fucking like traditional street food, and they go to these traditional off the fucking beaten path restaurants. And the people that work at these restaurants and own these restaurants, prepare this food, are so fucking overjoyed to have somebody that's not from their culture come to appreciate some of that food. So why is that not locked off, but fashion is locked off, but minor religious observance is locked off? See, all of these things beg to be shared amongst the human animal. Food is just one aspect of it. That was taking it down to one aspect of it. That's how I view culture. Culture is something that develops locally and begs to be appreciated and listened to and adopted. It begs for people to say, look at what we've done. Look at how we are. Look at what we create. Look at our art. Taste our food. Be inspired by what you see around you because we're proud of what we've made. That's culture. Culture is not this fucking walled off, you can't do this, you can't do that, or else you're appropriate. Fuck that shit. There's a difference between appropriation and appreciation. Okay? So if you're just going out and doing the whole fucking feathered headdress, how white man thing, yeah. If you're getting in brown face and going, hey, what's up, vato, you know, and just reducing a culture to a caricature, that to me is appropriation. You deciding that you want to listen to a certain kind of music or adopt a certain kind of twang to your voice or adopt a certain style of dress because you appreciate the culture that it came from, how the fuck is that a fucking problem, bro? Explain to me on this planet how that's a fucking problem. A lot of cultures that exist on the planet today are the result of a beautiful blending of cultures over vast oceans of time. I used to live in an area like that, and say what you want about it. I fled the fucking state. But I used to live in New Orleans, Louisiana, which is one of the most culturally diverse places that you will ever fucking visit. This place was like a French colony before America was even an idea. Became a British colony, became a fucking, it just changed hands so much and had so much flavor brought into it that it's utterly unique as a place. And you see that culture seeping out of every pore in the filthy fucking dirty city. And it's like, it's awe-inspiring. It is a place where culture collides and has for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And it's blended and created a wholly unique vibe. And you want to tell me that's wrong? Fuck you. Yes, so imagine what the world would be in terms of vibrancy if Europeans never erased the cultures of indigenous people. That's why I'm largely referring to that. Sorry, that's not what I'm saying. No, I get it. I'm not justifying history. I don't have to. I didn't live back then, okay? I'm not trying to ignore it either. What I'm saying is that history has led to this amazing blending of culture. Some of that is through, oh, thank you so much, baby. Some of that is through invasion and war and horrible things. I'm not talking about those horrible acts themselves or praising those horrible acts themselves. I'm talking about the cultural blend that resulted sometimes from those horrible acts and sometimes from wholly fucking innocent acts. Culture transcends that timeline. What we have now came from then. And I respect that. Despite the horrible fucking things that we've done to each other, I respect how culture has survived it, transcended it. In my parents' lifetimes, we went from a time where a young black man was referred to as a boy by little teenagers and shit and wasn't allowed to stand in front of people and was relegated to a certain part of the bus, to Lil Nas X riding a stripper pole and twerking on Satan's fucking lap and being the biggest fucking star in the universe right now. It's mukbang time. I'm going to eat this delicious bacon. Oh my God, it's perfect. It's got a fried egg. It's a fried egg and turkey bacon sandwich on toasted bread here. So I'm going to enjoy this. Oh yeah. That's the stuff. There it is. Oh my God. Breakfast time, yo. It's got Cholula on it too.
Good.
Oh my God, baby. I was trying to wait for you, but I had to take one bite. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh my God. Dude, that fried egg is perfect. Look at it. The bacon is perfect. Breakfast, yeah. Oh. So fucking good. You should be hungry now. You should be. There should be a hunger in your belly now. Yes. I love you so much.
I love you too.
What's the species of tree behind me? That is an evergreen tree. It is a eucalyptus tree. I come from a land down under. I think it's time for me to reveal where we are, what part of the world we're in. I'm sick of the fucking kayfabe now. I'm sick of the kayfabe. I'm sick of keeping it up. It just makes no sense anymore. So we moved